So, uh, hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Yemi and I do photography. So in this video, I want to show you how to make the eyes pop. This is a picture I shot recently and I want to make the eyes pop in this picture. Basically, maybe change the eye color and also like make this area white. So I already did basic edit here, like basic frequency separation for the skin, and now I'm just going to focus on the eyes. The first thing I'm going to do is go to my curves adjustment layer, select the curves adjustment layer, and I'm going to move the slider this way till just watch what's happening with the eyes till you start to see like the circle, the inner circle of the eye. You know, when it's here like this, it might be harder to see, although you can still see because of the amount of light going into the eye, but this way you get to see it even more until you can see this inner part of the eye, like the circle. You can see the inner circle and whatnot. And once that is done, you're going to close it and you're going to come down here and select the mask. So you're creating a mask. Now that the mask is there, you're going to Control I or Command I, depending on what system you're using, to invert. And once you have inverted that, you're going to grab your brush, the regular brush tool. You can make your flow high or low, but I think working with 5% is okay. Then I'm just going to zoom into my picture. Oh god, I have zoomed in too much. Okay, just so you can see the eyes, and make my brush big enough for that. And I'm just going to paint with, make sure this is set to white. I'm going to paint this place so that you can see, we can paint the effects that we just created on the eyes. So now can see the eyes look somewhat scary, but don't worry, we will get to where we're going to. So this is what it looks like at the moment. I've painted the effects on the iris, so we're working on the iris first. We can go to the pupil later. I'm going to go into my HSL layer, basically creating HSL adjustment layer. I will close that for now and create a mask, and with that same settings I did before, Control I to invert that mask and then paint the same thing on here. I can increase the flow of this one so that this one is like more obvious. So say 20, let me try 25. Okay, I'm going to paint that on here. So I'm just focusing on the iris, the black part of the eyes, and I'm just focusing on that circle that you can see. And once that is done, into the other eye. So when you're painting a mask, you will see some white marks here, so that's what lets you know that you're actually doing the painting right and it's showing and it's working. If it's not showing, you need to check your settings or something to see what's going on. So now that we have done that, I can now go into the HSL and just change this to whatever I think I want it to be. So you see the different colors you can have. You can have so many colors. So I'm just slowly going through to see what doesn't look too scary. I want something along the lines of brown. Yeah, I think this works for me. So if I increase the saturation, okay, that's too much. So now that looks, I don't know, lifeless or something. So let's try something towards this area, and let me see what happens with that. Okay, I don't mind this color. It's weird, but it seems to be good for me. Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to stick with this color. You can really use any color that you want. You can increase your saturation, reduce your saturation. It's really up to you what you decide to do. Now that looks the way it looks, next thing I'm going to do is add some, say, whiteness to the inner part of the eye, and I can do that by simply going into brightness and contrast. This editing thing is really about playing with stuff till you see what works. So I'm going to take this really high, and then maybe 80 is fine. Also create a mask again, and then invert that mask. We're going to reduce the brush, and here we'll just be painting. See those white spots in the eye? Yeah, just making them brighter. Those white spots, like where the light was reflecting from. Yeah, just make those areas brighter. And that's it for this one. See what it looks like. And this is after, before, after. I'm going to group these 3 layers and call them iris, and then I'm going to do the white part now. For that one, I will create a new fill layer, and that fill layer is going to have its own color. So I use different shades of white for my pupil color depending on what I'm trying to achieve. Sometimes you want something to be somewhat calming, and sometimes you want it to be like chilly. So different shades I use for different reasons. So for this one, I'll be going with, say, I'm going to try this color because that's this ivory like color, and then I'm going to create a mask, and that mask will be inverted. Sometimes you can go in straight up and start dealing with blend modes. It's really up to you, but let's invert the mask first. And now that that's inverted, I'm going to now grab the brush tool and paint with that color. So reducing this so that we're just focused on where we need to focus on. Now people like to do different things with this. They could also use like the HSL, but I work with different methods, to be honest, and I use whatever I feel like using whenever. I don't have a set method for doing these things. I do whichever one I feel like doing depending on what I am doing. Sometimes I'm okay with this method, other times I will do use the HSL layer to create this. The thing with HSL layer is I don't always get the exact color I'm looking for. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'd see me changing this eye color with this method I'm using, because I would find the exact color that I want the eyes to be and paint it that way, as opposed to using the HSV layer to get that. Now that that is done, this layer going to go into different blend modes. Let me try a different color, because one thing about this is that about creating mask is that I can always come here and change the color that I initially used. FC, FA, F6. You know what, let me try this negation thing. So if you take it like to the lowest part, it's not bad. So take it to around 13% or even 10%. 12% is fine. This is before, this is after, and I don't think it's bad. Yeah, definitely needs a bit of cleanup here and there, but I don't think it's out of the ordinary. Group these two guys together and just call them eyes. I like to keep my eye adjustments at the top, because when I do any form of color grading, dodge and burn, it could affect the eyes in some way, or if I use a gradient map, it'll affect the eyes. So I like to keep my eye adjustment at the very top of all the adjustments I've done. So if I do any further adjustment now, they'll be below the eyes. so that everything I do with the eye will remain the way I want it to. So that's pretty much it. I definitely need to clean this up a little more so it's the way I want it to be, which I will. We can go into everything and see what it looks like before, so it looks like after. So you zoom out, before, after. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section and I'll answer to the best of my ability. See you guys next time. Till then, enjoy the rest of your time on YouTube. Bye.